Life can change in an instant. In August of 2020, my life changed unexpectedly. It was a warm summer evening about 9:30 p.m. and I was riding my Harley-Davidson Road King home. My daughter was behind me, riding along. I saw an oncoming car pull into their left turn lane. As a seasoned motorcycle rider, I know to slow down, especially at night, to make sure that the driver of the car sees that I'm approaching. And as I slowed down, I saw that car come to a stop, so I continued. Suddenly, the driver decided to complete their left-hand turn, crossing directly in front of me. I had a fraction of a second to decide what to do. I could swerve and try to avoid the car, but was likely to only hit sideways. The other option was to hit the car head-on. That was the decision that I made. You see, with my daughter right behind me, I knew that trying to avoid the car would cause her serious injury as we would hit sideways. If, on the other hand, I hit head-on, I would be between her and the car that we were about to hit. I remember the very moment of impact as I hit the car going about 40 miles per hour. The next thing I remember is lying face down on the asphalt. Somehow my helmet had come off and I could see the blood dripping onto the pavement. Of course, as you can imagine, my very first thought was about my daughter. I started screaming her name as loud as I could. Within a few seconds of impact, there were people swarming around the scene. They could hear me screaming her name, and one man just came up next to me, knelt down, and told me that my daughter was up and walking around. She was completely unharmed. She had been launched over the top of the collision and landed about 20 feet beyond the point of impact. Somehow she had twisted and flipped in the air, and she landed on her back. It was a miracle. Now, while I did not avoid injury as my daughter did, my injuries were relatively minor considering what had just happened. I had a ruptured spleen, I had 3 cracked ribs, a deflated lung, fractured shoulder, broken knuckle, puncture wound in my knee, multiple facial lacerations, and many microfractures of the orbital socket. Remarkably, I did not require surgery other than to slow the blood flow to my spleen and to allow it to heal. All the fractures were non-displacement and would not require any surgery to heal. About 4 months later, I was back to full strength with no long-term or lingering issues. Yet another miracle. So you might ask, why am I telling you this story? We often have the illusion of control and feel that we are controlling the circumstances of our lives. And at the same time, we must realize that life can change and even end in the blink of an eye. After this accident, I made a decision that I was going to try to live every day to the fullest. Why do we live each day assuming that there will always be another day? Why do we put off pursuing the things that bring us the most joy and happiness and fill our life with passion? What are we waiting for? Let me ask you, what needs to change in your life for you to pursue the things that bring you the most joy, happiness, and that fill your life with passion? Tell us in the comments below.